Welcome to the Goddess Cafe in South Downs, a venue as vibrant and regal as today's guest. Surrounded by colour, opulence and just a touch of extravagance, we sit down with the incomparable Ryno Mulder, the creative force behind Makeup by Ryno. Known for his artistry, his unapologetic self-expression and his outspoken views on animal welfare, Ryno joins us today with his glamorous poodle Gigi, who is every bit the princess of the day. Together they remind us that beauty, like kindness, should always be cruelty-free. Ryno, thank you so much for joining us today. Gigi, thank you so much. She's an absolute princess, and I'm so happy that you guys are here to join us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having us.
Ryno, you turn any room that you walk into a runway. When you walk into a place like this, what do you feel?
So I really love places that are amusing and that are different. I'm obsessed with travel so that I can experience newness all the time. I learned the other day that there's a word for it called neophile. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's about seeking novelty and newness and amusement. And I always appreciate it when people put a lot of thought into an environment to make it delightful to anybody who's going to spend time in that environment. I think it's such a gift, and it's such a kind of respect towards your guests, so your people who are coming there, your patrons or whoever.
So it's a little bit of a creative muse for you when you walk into
Absolutely.
a place like that.
Yeah.
So what is dressing up your look? You've got a very unique style.
Yeah.
What does dressing up give you that everyday life doesn't give you?
Well, first of all, it's just an occupational gimmick. There are so many people who are in a hustling industry and doing the same thing as I do. You have to set yourself apart in some way. But then, to be perfectly honest, I always loved dressing up. It's probably one of the first things that I can remember as a child, was like always dressing up and getting the other kids in the neighborhood to come over and dress up, whether we were pirates or Vikings or, I don't know, cats that live in space or whatever the case may be. And the neighbor, it was a lady and she was a social worker, she said to my mum once, "Aren't you a little bit worried about him? He seems really immersed in his imaginary world." And what she didn't understand was I've never had any business with the real world. Okay. I've always found my imaginary worlds and my dream worlds and my fantasy landscapes much more interesting than the grit of reality or dealing with the grit of the reality. And I'm still doing pretty well.
And of course, we're joined by Gigi today.
Yes.
Gigi is so tired from all the photos.
She is, yeah, she's got a low threshold for all of the glam.
But Gigi's a little bit older already, and I know Gigi has a story from cement cage to red carpet, and she's featured in a lot of magazine covers, and she's been on insurance things, and she's actually the face for a cruelty-free makeup brand.
I think it's just really important that people, if they have the capability, if they're financially capable, if they have the good sense, if they've got the sense of responsibility, that they make life better for another creature. I don't view animals as a sort of lower species. I view animals as individuals, and if you spend time with any kind of animal, whether it's a sheep or a cow or a pig or whatever, you see that they all have a personality and they can all suffer and they can all feel pain. But to circle back to your question, yes, I adopted Gigi from the Maltese, French Poodle and Yorkie rescue. And it absolutely wasn't planned. It wasn't meant, well, it was meant to be. But I sensed a need for spending time with animals, spending time with dogs. I was living on a third floor apartment, and it didn't even cross my mind that there was the possibility of having pets in that environment. So I started going to the rescue every Sunday. I was also at a place where I was feeling kind of low, and I thought that doing something for somebody else might shift things, because I really believe that if things are not going well, if you do things for others, not in the sense of expecting things to come back to you, but just doing it,
just a little bit of karma. Just there's truth. Yeah?
You change your energy instead of being self-focused, and instead of thinking, "Oh, woe is me and I'm the victim."
Yes.
You see that there's so much suffering out there, and that small things, small gestures can make a difference. So I was walking dogs, and Gigi didn't want to be walked. She wanted to be picked up. So I ended up carrying her, where every dog got like a quick little walk, I was carrying Gigi around the whole day when I was walking, or the whole afternoon when I was walking the other dogs. And when I would leave, she was in the furthest sort of wire and cement cage right at the back of the rescue. She would stand up on her hind legs with her little paws in the front, and she would look as I was leaving. So that was that was heartbreaking. And then shortly before Christmas, I was leaving. I was driving out of the rescue, and the lady from the shelter, who by that time I knew fairly well, I think she messaged me, and she said, "Shame, she's still looking for you." And I turned around and I took her home.
That nerve was hit and it was done. The day, this was meant to be.
When she joined me on that first day, you could immediately sense that she had a sense of relief. And this is home. She didn't seem like she was scared at all. She was like, whoa, what is this? This is exciting. This is new. And she was so happy. And when I put my shoes on that afternoon, because we went to go and buy her bowls and all the accessories that she needed, she immediately knew that putting on shoes means we're going somewhere. And she assumed she's going along. So I put her into like a carrier bag of mine. And then she started going along everywhere, all the time. And now she has different handbags that work with my different outfits that she travels in the car, when we go shopping, when we go on the plane. She flies in the cabin. I saw a picture of a dog kennel, but a really exquisite, ornate dog kennel that has the inscription of Marie Antoinette's royal emblem at the bottom and the date. And this royal dog kennel was clearly made for her dogs because she really loved dogs and had a whole variety of dogs during the time that she was at Versailles. And I always loved this, and I knew about this incredible Egyptian furniture maker, and I knew that he would be the person to replicate it. So the original one was made of beechwood. Gigi's dog bed is made of beechwood. The original one was this kind of yellow gold with a rich blue, well, a duck egg blue velvet. So we had it upholstered in that.
People often say that humans and their pets share some personality traits. Would you say that you guys share anything?
Yeah, we definitely do.
Your taste in clothes?
No, she's a nudist. This is where we differ. She does not like, she's got so many outfits, not really because I buy her outfits. Other people buy her outfits because they assume that she wears little outfits, but she hates it. She sort of freezes up and she looks at you like, why are you doing this to me? You're torturing me, yes. And you're making me look like a clown. So she doesn't like wearing anything. I went to LA and there was a pet store, and they even had like little dog wigs if your dog wanted to have pink hair. And I was like, this is so cute. And little dog shoes. But I knew she would not go for it. So the things we have in common is I think we're both quite introverted. She doesn't socialize a lot with other dogs. She chooses very specific ones.
Yes.
She's got a very specific taste. And often I feel sorry for her. They're like, who are you? What's wrong with you? But it's like a complete change of personality. She's like obsessed with them and super excited, but it happens very rarely. It's the same with me. I have a small circle of people that I absolutely adore.
Your business,
Yes.
Makeup by Ryno, you obviously have a very high profile clientele. You work with professional people every day. It's a high stress environment. Do you use makeup as a form of art? Do you use it as a form of armor?
Makeup is confidence in a compact. It's seeing the difference it makes to people. And often in my line of work, I don't set out to do transformations on people that don't make them recognize themselves. But sometimes somebody has not neglected themselves, but they just really didn't know what are the possibilities for themselves. That first few seconds is always like nerve-wracking. Sort of my heart beats because I don't always get a reaction immediately. People are sometimes absolutely stunned. There's such a disconnect for them between the way they think of themselves and then seeing themselves for the first time.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible the way that can open up their mind as to the possibilities for themselves and seeing how they carry themselves differently and how they suddenly behave differently, because in a way it is an armor or it is a mask, but a beautiful mask that they're wearing.
It depends on the day. It depends on the situation.
It depends on the person.
But it's pretty flexible.
Yeah.
What
but
has been...
I tell people, when I can see it's a really successful makeover for them, when they feel absolutely empowered, I said, remember the feeling, because that's always in you. That's always a part of you. The makeup just unlocked it for you. It's not the makeup doing this. These feelings and that sense of confidence, you can own that and make that a part of your own life. So hold on to that, even in days when you're not dressed your best, or when you don't have a full face of professional makeup on. Put that energy on like it's your superhero cape.
Oh, that's actually really cute. Is that what you do to ground yourself on a day that you don't feel like yourself?
For me, dressing up has been probably a way to escape things that feel humdrum or things that don't feel happy or whatever. So becoming a character, I'm not wearing wigs and makeup, well, not false lashes and all of that today. But yes, that becomes your superhero outfit.
You're a very outspoken vegan as well, and I know that you're an advocate for animal rights.
Yeah.
And the cosmetics industry is still transforming. There's still a lot of animal testing, and
so there's no separation for me between my personal life and my work life in that sense. My ethics are my ethics at all times. So when I became vegan, I try to only support brands that are vegan and verifiably vegan. And because that sort of verification, or the fact that you want to know that it's authentic, that people are not just slapping some kind of sticker on or making some kind of statement. When I created my own brand, my own makeup line, that was the first thing to me. There were many incredible formulations and things that I could find, but if it had animal ingredients in, or if I know that this company tests on animals, I absolutely wouldn't touch it. And I went to great pains because I also knew that other people are going to think probably the same way as I am and maybe second guess it. I went through a lot of administration and expense to become the first makeup brand in South Africa that's PETA approved. PETA is the most sort of best known accreditation in terms of treating animals ethically. And it's entirely possible to manufacture incredibly good makeup without having any animal ingredients in. There really is no excuse anymore for having any animal ingredients in products.
Are there any changes that you think you will be seeing in the next decade, or that you want to particularly see in the next decade?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of brands are touted as part of their marketing that they have very low impact in terms of their footprint as far as sustainability goes.
Okay.
So less packaging, less unnecessary packaging, simpler packaging. And the hope, of course, is that more and more products will come out that are glass or made of bamboo or other kinds of materials, new innovations that is recyclable and that is neutral towards the environment.
Gigi, we're going to do a few quick fire questions here for you guys. And you need to answer the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. If Gigi had a royal title, what would it be?
Princess, obviously.
One beauty product that you can't live without.
My foundation, Makeup by Ryno Icon SPF foundation.
Perfect. Your ultimate glam anthem.
Prima Donna Girl by Marina.
Tea, coffee or champagne at the Goddess Cafe?
None of the above. They have the most beautiful milkshakes I've ever seen, and they're actually pretty accommodating with making it vegan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try some of those.
We're going to try it.
Ryno, thank you so much for joining us. Gigi, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing more from you in the future.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Ryno.
much for having us, Petprint Magazine.
Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.